She's asking for the gun. Alice, give me the gun.
Jay, give Mummy the spoon. Please, Jay, give me the spoon.
I know you were there, Maya. So why don't you tell me the truth? Did you kill Ethan?
Seriously think it was me?
Well, everyone's so ready to believe it was me.
But it's not true.
You had just as much reason to want him dead.
Okay, so I didn't like Ethan, but that doesn't mean
Ethan was a bastard. You saw it before I did. He did his best to ruin your career. Your mother has cancer because of him. I'm not even saying I blame you. I just need to know. Oh, my God. Why?
I saw the way he hurt you, and you weren't the only one. Why should he get to walk away?
Some of us are still going to the beach while it's still sunny. Do you want to come?
I have to get home to JJ.
I'm not really feeling very beachy.
I've got time for a coffee if you want one.
I don't think so. Have fun at the beach.
I will.
See you. Bye.
I went and saw your real estate agent. I had a really long chat with him. How is it that two financially savvy people managed to lose a $70,000 deposit on a house they were falling over themselves to buy?
It was all my fault. We had the bank all lined up and then I went mad in a furniture shop and blew the deposit for the loan.
To the tune of 20 grand. But why spend that money on furniture for a new house when it meant that house would never be yours? I'll tell you what I think. You and Karen did the sums and found you had 20 grand left over. That's not where it came from. That's when you went on your little shopping spree. But you didn't bother to tell your boyfriend, did you? Because he was out spending it somewhere else on something so important that eventually would have to be paid for from the only money you had left, the loan deposit. Do you have any idea what that very important thing might have been?
No.
How did you feel when you found out your mother's illness was a direct result of Ethan Pierce's little sideline?
Well, it was bad enough that she was sick. That's all I cared about.
Here's a man knowingly profiteering from a product that may cost your mother's life, and you don't even get a little bit angry?
Well, of course I was...
If it was my mother, I'd be out to get the bugger. I'd spend 20 grand just like that. On a private investigator, a good lawyer, whatever it took. Do you have any idea what it costs to hire a hitman?
No.
20 grand, give or take. Funny that. Your girlfriend just landed you in it. She told me you hired a hitman to kill Ethan Pierce.
No, she didn't, because it's not true. Okay, I might have talked about it, I'll give you that. When Libby's mother got sick and we found out Ethan was responsible, well... let's just say if he'd walked in there and then, I would have killed him with my own bare hands. You can't lock me up for hating somebody, and that's as far as it went.
Back to your mate, Don Lennox.
He's no mate of mine.
But you knew enough about him to know he was a professional hitman.
No, but it doesn't surprise me.
Lennox was spotted at the scene of the crime. Now he's skipped the country and you're 20 grand short.
Detective, does this really strike you as a professional job? Done in broad daylight, right next to a beach full of potential witnesses. From what I read in the papers, there was nothing professional about it. So admit it. You're clutching at straws.
I guess a huge glass of vino would be pretty inappropriate right now, and I don't think we even have a drop of alcohol in the house. Do you want a cup of tea or coffee?
Come on.
What are you doing? TK, we know all we need to know.
I just want to check. And I stopped hearing what Dr. Benson was saying after he started talking about the odds.
Have you ever seen a trisomy 18 baby?
You?
No. Like it says, 95% of them die in utero, so it's no wonder neither of us have, eh? Let it go.
I can't. You're so together.
Look, the chances of any pregnancy actually resulting in a baby are really low as 25% maybe. And the thing is, even if by some small chance our baby makes it, then it's going to be so sick and it's only going to live for a really short time.
Help yourself to pizza, mate.
No thanks, I'm fine.
Yum.
Extra cheese to bring on all those weird dreams, get you thrashing around. You're not just going to lie there and sleep all night, are you? Where's the fun in that?
Who knows? I may run a marathon, but that's only if I can get to sleep in the first place.
Oh, you will.
With somebody watching over me.
I watch you every night. You just don't know about it.
You should tell Xavier what you're talking about. He looks a bit worried.
Oh, Tracy's off to a sleep lab tonight. They're going to wire her up like the Bride of Frankenstein and keep tabs on her while she sleeps.
His idea, not mine.
What if Leo presses charges? It might help to have some medical evidence that you actually do sleepwalk.
He's not going to press charges, because if he did, he'd have to admit to breaking and entering.
OK, forget Leo. Do it for yourself.
I'm just not convinced it's going to do any good.
Deep, steady breaths. Imagine a candle flickering with each breath. In and out.
Hope you bought a good book. This may take a while.
You might surprise yourself. Slow, steady breaths. That's it.
A decent toke on a good joint, that's what she needs.
Do you want the science lecture on how marijuana affects sleep?
I've heard it all before, Doc, about 10 different versions. It makes you sleep better, it makes you sleep worse. It makes you feel like you're sleeping better, but you're really not. It gives you great dreams, or no dreams at all. Or is it that you're too stoned to remember? Take your pick.
How long were you going to let me think it was me? Or were you just going to let me rot in jail?
No. If I had thought the police were going to arrest you, I would have gone straight down to the station. You have to believe me.
I'd like to. But as you can understand, my capacity for trust isn't what it was.
I know. And he did that to you. Joey might have started it, but Ethan did his damnedest to finish the job, and it was horrible to watch. You've got no idea. Seeing Ethan for what he was and seeing you as his plaything.
When Ethan said you were in love with me, was he right?
It's okay, sweetheart. Mummy's here.
So was he?
I'm sorry. I'm off.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Don't say that. This is not your fault.
I know, but I am sorry. We know what we have to do, don't we? We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened. Everything.
Okay. I tried to stop you going to Ethan's, but you wouldn't listen. You were out of control.
So you followed me?
Not straight away, but yeah. And when I got there, the door was open, but there didn't seem to be anyone home.
Ethan?
I called out Ethan's name. No answer, so I walked into the living room. The place was a mess. And I heard a groan from the bedroom, and I thought someone might be hurt, so I went to check. And you were lying on the bed.
Alice.
Holding Ethan's gun. I didn't know what had happened. I thought that you might have already. And I knew how bad it would look if someone found you like that.
Alice, give me the gun.
But you were too drunk, so I took it out of your hand and I tried to get you up off the bed, but you wouldn't move. And then I heard a noise in the living room and Ethan's voice.
Alice, you still here?
He was putting files and things in a bag. He must have heard me.
You are here. You've not staggered home to lick your wounds, huh?
But he hadn't seen me. And all I could think about was all the pain he'd caused. And I couldn't stand the thought of him just walking away from it all. I've never felt hatred like it. And he called out again.
Come on out, sweetheart, and say goodbye.
And then he turned, and he saw me pointing a gun at him, and then the look he gave me. That did it. And once wasn't enough, I shot him 3 times. He looked at me, smiling just for a second before he fell to the floor. I thought he was dead. I thought about firing again just to make sure, but I couldn't. My hands were shaking. Then I realized what I'd done. And I found a tissue, and I wiped my fingerprints off the gun and I dropped it to the floor, and then I went back into the bedroom to try and wake Job. And when I went back into the living room, Ethan was gone, and I realized he wasn't dead. He'd crawled out into the beach. And so I called 111, and then I realized there was someone else in the apartment. It was Brooke, and I was worried that she'd see me, but she went straight out after Ethan, and I had to get out of there. And I should have taken you with me, and I'm so sorry that I didn't. But you didn't do anything. That's what I told myself. Alice is innocent. Everyone will see that. Of course they will. Tell me what to do. Do I go to the police? Do I call a lawyer? What? Tell me.
I don't know.
You caught me stealing one of your raspberry infusions.
Oh, if that's the worst of your crimes, you got nothing to worry about. That didn't mean anything, by the way.
Are you sure?
Look, I don't think you killed Ethan, all right? Neither does TK.
Well, that's good to hear.
Can you make one of those, please?
What about Alice? You don't think she did it either, do you?
Well, if she did, it wasn't on purpose. I'm pretty sure of that. You're up late. Couldn't you sleep? Hey.
When I sleep, I dream about Ethan. What's your excuse?
Oh, I've got a lot on my mind.
Work?
That's the least of it, really. I'm pregnant. Except it has Edwards syndrome, you know that one? So I'm either going to miscarry or the baby's going to be born and live for at the very most a year. I shouldn't have hit you with all that. I'm sorry. It's just that we only found out tonight.
I'm really sorry.
Do you want the added zinger? No, sorry.
Sarah, tell me.
I found out 6 months ago that I have multiple sclerosis. But, you know, apart from that, everything's fine. Oh. Thanks.
Here we go. She's entered the deep sleep phase.
Well, this is when the fun begins, right?
Cut.
Was she awake?
Fast asleep.
It's okay. You're in the sleep lab, remember? It's all right. Everything's all right. Come here.
You don't really have a choice.
Yeah, except there are some women who decide that the baby stays here until it's ready to go, and a few do make it.
But they just have so much wrong with them. Heart and kidney problems, just so much. And to see them suffering and pain...
Yeah, but still, some women deliver their baby, they hold them, they care for them.
How many women with MS?
Well, the stats on that, I'm just not sure. TK so wanted this baby.
TK and I have had our issues, but I can't believe that he wants you to continue to carry it, to go through the extra stress.
No, he doesn't. He just needs some more time.
When you regain consciousness directly from deep sleep like that, it takes a while for your brain to warm up. I see it all the time. I'm guessing it's not a first for you either.
No, it's happened a few times now, eh?
So now we know for a fact that you've exhibited clinical parasomnia. Maybe we can do something about it. I'm going to prescribe clonazepam. Have you heard of it?
It's an anticonvulsant, benzodiazepine.
It slows down neural activity in the brain.
Are you sure it's going to work?
We can't be sure of much in this area of medicine, but I am sure it's your best option.
That's it. Mummy has to call Auntie Tanya.
It has her power.
Hi.
Hi, how was the night shift?
Oh, hell. Can't wait to get home, crash.
Listen, I might need you to do something for me later.
Can I do it from bed?
Not really. I need you to pick JJ up from daycare.
Why?
There's just something I have to do. If you can't manage it, don't worry. I'll try and find someone else.
Are you sure?
Yeah. See you later. Could you babysit Jay this afternoon, or is that asking too much?
Why? Where are you going to be?
Behind bars, probably. As soon as I've worked out what to do with this one, I'm calling the police.
Don't.
What?
I've been thinking. We're in this together.
Booze orders arrived. You want to check it?
In a minute.
What do you want now?
Recognise these?
I don't think so.
Keys to Ethan Pierce's apartment. Found at your place last night.
Right, yeah. It's a spare set he left at home one night. I took him home for Libby to give to him the next day, but when I called, he said he didn't need him, so I guess they kind of got forgotten about.
Nevertheless, it means you had access to Ethan's apartment whenever you liked.
Do you think we were having a secret affair?
Not beyond the realms of possibility. I'm starting to think your relationship was a lot closer than you've led me to believe.
Believe what you want, Detective. You're a long way off from proving anything.
We also found a prospectus for Nessa's bio, with handwritten notes in the margin. Figures mainly corresponding with profits that Ethan was transferring out of the country as part of his body part scheme.
Do you think he was sharing his profits with me?
Wasn't he?
Detective, my only association to Nessa's bio was as a shareholder. Admittedly, not my wisest investment ever.
We also know a large sum of money was deposited into your bank account from Nessa's, supposedly to buy back your shares.
It's true.
The same day Betty Crawford was last seen alive.
I don't see the connection.
Maybe there isn't one. But if you know anything about Betty's death, or anyone else's for that matter, now is the time to start talking.
You're wasting your time.
I might grab a coffee while I'm here. Long black, 2 sugars.
Libby?
Hi.
I could see the frown lines forming from across the room. Would you like me to tell you where we keep the Botox?
It might come to that.
What's wrong?
Mum says it's just cold feet, but there's a lot she doesn't know.
About Kieran?
A lot I'm only just finding out myself.
If he's not being honest, it's not much of a basis for a marriage, is it?
Well, if anything, he's being too honest, but what he tells me and what he tells the police are 2 different things.
Harry and I are off to Queenstown this afternoon.
Are you lucky?
We'd normally be at the beach at this time of the year, but Harry wanted to fly somewhere. I tried to explain about the whole carbon footprint thing, but it didn't wash.
I'm with Harry.
Which means the beach is sitting empty, so if you'd like some time out, just say the word. Get Uncle Garth to drop off the keys.
thank you, but I probably shouldn't be on my own right now. I'd go crazy.
Take a friend. Take your mother.
Oh, and go even crazier.
Well, call me if you change your mind. Offer's always open.
Thank you.
Hey. Why didn't you wake me?
I want you to sleep through the night, man. Thought I'd let you sleep on.
Are you okay?
Okay. I'm ready now.
We're doing the right thing, honey.
I know.
Last chance to change your mind. If you're not sure, say so. I can go full term. We can see our baby.
It's too much for you. It's too much for Bubs.
We're ready to start. All right.
I love you.
I love you too.
Did you find it?
Yeah, thanks.
We were holding the room for you again, in case you wanted it tonight. You never said.
I'm right. Ta.
Can we go, please? I feel sick.
Keep it together, will you?
I just want this to be over.
With you in jail and this one without a mother, what would that achieve?
Oh, so you two have kissed and made up, I see.
What?
Maya said you had a fight.
Yeah, we did. It was silly.
We better get going.
Well, if you see Mum, tell her she was right. Just cold feet, nothing to worry about.
Okay.
Gentlemen,
I'd like you to come down to the station with us, please.
do you mind telling me why?
The vacuum cleaner we took from your place contained hairs matching those of a murder victim, Betty Crawford.
What?
Along with fragments of upholstery filling, which we're fairly certain came from the front seat of your girlfriend's car. Getting the picture?
What is he talking about?
Kira Mitchell, I'm placing you under arrest for the murder of Betty Crawford. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you do say may be used in evidence against you.